Hi everyone, and welcome to my Facebook Live on a Thursday afternoon. It's great to be here. You'll see a slightly different background to me today. I had a class this morning, so just had to rearrange my room so I could have the class and then do my Facebook Live afterwards. So thank you to those of you that are joining me today, whether you're joining live or whether you're watching the recording later on Facebook or whether you're watching it on YouTube. I appreciate you taking the time today to watch this video. So hopefully from the cards that I make, you'll be inspired, learn some new tips and things, and whether you make exactly the same card using the same stamp sets or take some ideas from what I'm creating today to make your own cards. I hope that it gives you lots of inspiration and some new tips and new ideas and things. So today I'm going to use the Trees for Sale stamp set. And this is in the July to December mini catalogue. It's a great stamp set which you can use for Christmas and things. I know it seems quite early, we're only in August, but you know, some good ideas, and then hopefully you will maybe even be able to use the same kind of layout with even completely different stamp set. This stamp set also has some matching dies which are free with Celebration. So that ends in the end of August. So I was going to try and make a card using the dies today, but I didn't quite get around to that. So today's the stamp set, and hopefully next week I'll be able to show you a card using the dies as well. So if you really like it and you want to get the dies and stamps together, then if you order it while Celebration is still happening, you can use that too. That I was talking about, it's the Trees for Sale one. So quite cool for Christmas. Like I said, it's a little bit far away, but hopefully you know, you'll get some ideas and things and you know, keep them in mind, or even the card layout. So this is my simple design. It's basically just stamping and a bit of paper and things. I've stayed away from die cuts, I've stayed away from embossing, just to keep it simple if you need a quick easy card. And then I've got the stepped up version. Here we go, which involves dry embossing. I've put some texture in the background here and some gold embossing as well, just to kind of step it up and things. So we'll make this one first, and then I'll show you how to do the second one and just some little ideas and things along the way. All right, so like I said, that's the stamp set, and it's on page 39 in the mini catalogue. And if you like the dies that kind of coordinate with it, they are available in Celebration until the 31st of August or while stocks last. So just keep those in mind, and hopefully next week I'll have some of my own creations to show you using that. Okay, so the colours I've used here is very vanilla and evening evergreen, which is one of my, well, I like lots of different greens, but this one's quite nice for Christmas and that kind of thing. So we're going to keep it simple to start with, and we'll do some stamping. Now I will bring in my piercing mat, because I do find that particularly with photopolymer, because there's no sponginess in them, it stamps much better when you've got this mat. Okay, so this piece here is 13 centimeters long by about 9, but what I'm actually going to do is do the ripping part first. And so I want to try and make it fairly controlled, so I'm kind of just taking a little bit off each side, fairly straight line, but you know, a bit of interest to it. I'm doing this first so I kind of know where to stamp my sentiments and my images and stuff like that. And then I'm going to go back the other way, and I'm trying to make it so the edge is the same kind of thing, because if you look on the other side, it looks sort of different. So I turned it around so it's the same look top and bottom. Now I know some people don't like this kind of distress look. If you don't, that's fine. You don't have to do this. You can have straight edges. Okay, now I don't know if you can tell, but that looks quite kind of crisp like that. So I've actually sponged it a little bit first with some crumb cake ink and my blending brush, sorry. So we will do that first. It looks like it's got a bit of green on it, but I've actually washed it. It's just on the side bit, so I will put this down to do that. And can you see? Yep. Okay, so just on the edge, kind of to tighten, and then you can kind of see that tear a bit more. So if you can see the difference between the two, it's probably quite subtle by the time you add the gold on, but you can do more over it if you want. There we go. I'll try not to get extra ink everywhere. Okay, stamping. So just so you know, I'm using this Distress Gold paper for my edging. So I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it comes in a big 12 by 12 sheet, 2 of them in a pack, and it's great. You only need to use little bits, and that's what I've put on the edging. So I'll come back to that, but just so you can see what I've done. All right, so for these trees, I've used Evening Evergreen for my darker colour, but for my lighter one, I have used Pear Pizzazz. So let's do that first. Actually, we're going to do our sentiment first, then I can kind of get a rough idea of where things are going to go. So you could use a different colour combination, but you could have a different image, but use the same kind of layout of card if you like. So let's put our Christmas greetings down there. Beautiful. And we'll do, so with the stamps, we've got kind of, let's get them matching. Where is the solid one? Okay, so we've got a solid one. I don't know if you can see through there. And then kind of that outline one. So it's like these two here. So I'm going to do my lighter colour, the Pear Pizzazz, for my solid one. Kind of in the middle, hopefully. And it's much better when it's spongy like this. And then the little one in the Pear Pizzazz either side. So I kind of press it down and let the ink soak into the paper. And then one over here. Just careful that you don't rock your, what do you call it, block, if you've got ink around the edge, because then that will spoil your image. Okay, now we're going to go over the top with our darker colour. So this is what you call two-step stamping. Isn't that cool? And the little one for the other ones, slightly wonky, but that's all right. Oh, I've used the wrong ink. What did I just put it in? Crumb cake. Not good. Okay, at least we realise. Let's wash that. And we want Evening Evergreen. Now see how I've got ink around there? I don't want to rock it, or I can use my chamois and just wipe it. And I also don't want to get it on my fingers and get, oh look, there we go again. So I either be really careful or I wipe it off. Oh, I don't think that was centre either. Oh well, there we go. That's all right. Okay, so quick and easy to make really. So then I'm going to get my strips and just glue them on like so. So my glue is, I just had it. Here we go. Put a bit of glue there and put that on. No. Oh, yep, that looks good. And the same for the bottom. Brilliant. Okay. That one's got slightly wispy edges. There we go. All right, now card base. So I've got a thick, very vanilla piece and Evening Evergreen. Now for this one, I just kept it plain. I said no dyes, no embossing. I struggle with that. I like to have something. You might want to stamp something in the background. For this one, so you can see the difference, I've actually embossed this one. This is with the, what do you call it? The Fern 3D embossing folder. So I just wanted a bit of pattern. I just find that just, you know, adds to it. So if you can't, you don't have a die cutting machine, you could stamp something around the edge in the background just to sort of make it a bit more interesting rather than just plain. But I do like texture, but you know, there are other options. So there we go. So this piece was just 10 centimeters by 14.3. My card base, the usual size, which is half an A4, which is 14.85 by the width, which is 21, I believe. All right, now I'm going to put this on with dimensionals, I think, to make it pop and stand up. So I shall grab those. I want some big ones though. All right. And then that's basically it. Now, if you wanted to add a few embellishments or something to step it up, you could. But if you want to keep it just simple to stamps and ink, you can do so all as well, particularly if you had lots to make. There we go. So just by adding a bit of this distressed paper edge to it and kind of tearing it and sponging it, just kind of adds to a fairly simple card. Like I say, add some embellishments if you like. So there we go. So that's the first one. Then I want to do the stepped up version. Okay, so I will show you there. So I haven't used quite so much green. It's more just the edges. So the base kind of starts off the same. So we've got our very vanilla and same size. Actually, this piece it's a little bit bigger than what that one, because it's got a bit more of an edge. This was 10.2 by 14.5, just so it's you can see a little bit more of the embossing, and because it's the same color. All right, so that's our base. There we go. So the start off procedure for the next one is the same. So what are we? 13 centimeters by about 9. And if you like to hold more to rip, then just make it a bit wider. So I'm just like to sort of control it as I tear it down. Sort of try and get fairly straight, but that tiered look. Let me know if you've got any questions. And if you're watching this later, just comment below. There we go. So we're going to do our inking again. Right, we'll get the right ink pad this time. So we want our crumb cake. So I start off the paper so it's not too dark. Just get into those edges. There we go. And we're going to use some evergreen and some gold embossing. All right. So I've got to kind of picture where my sentiment will be. And I'm going to do my tree. So I do need to clean them in between, because last time we had the Pear Pizzazz and the Evening Evergreen, and now we're going to use the Evening Evergreen on the background one and Versamark on the top layer. All right, so they're clean. And we also need to do our sentiment, because that will be in, what do you call it, Versamark. Okay, so let's do our trees. So we're going to start with our solid middle one. Now I kind of felt that was a little bit too close. So I'm going to try and have a bit more distance between my sentiment. So I'm going to do as far up as I can. Hold it for a second. Oh, look, I've got a bit of a gap. Ink there, that's no good. And the solid ones either side. If you try this layout, I'd love to see what you come up with, if it's different stamp sets. Okay, there we go. Now I am going to quickly rub it with my embossing buddy just to help do that. Now what I might do, because I don't want that, is I'm actually going to trim it. So it'll be a bit narrower than the other ones, but I really don't want the ink on it. So let's do that now. So you never know. There we go. Solve that problem. Okay, let's move these out the way and close them so we don't get ink where we don't want. And now we're going to go for the Versamark. So here's my Versamark. So you make sure you go over with the embossing buddy, which is now part of the embossing kit. Let's do, now you need to work fairly quickly so that it doesn't dry. We'll do our big tree first. Again, it's quite good on the piecing mat because it's a bit of sponginess. I possibly should have re-inked this now that I think about it, but hopefully there's enough ink on it. It's been used quite a bit recently. Hopefully enough ink to make it stick. And my sentiment. Bit more room this time. Okay, have you seen the new embossing toolkit? So it includes this, the embossing buddy, some tweezers, and a brush. Oh yeah, that's kind of sticking. Now it's there a bit where I don't quite want it, which is a bit of a pain. And So I mustn't have gone down quite that far with the embossing buddy. You can kind of do that and it sort of flicks where it's not sticking too much, and you can kind of brush it a bit. I don't mind if there's a little bit on the edge. So what you can do with this is, when you finish, somehow I've got a dimensional in there, so let's take that out. And you just pour it back in. So we'll pour one side first. Whoops, oh, got it on my mat. Like so, I'll fix that up later. What I'll do is I'll just pour it back into there. There we go, and do it again. So just make sure it's lined up in your pot, and then remember to put that on so you don't lose it. Okay, I don't have to work quite so quickly once I've got the embossing powder on, but once I've stamped it, I need to get the embossing powder on as quickly as I can. All right, so we're going to, hopefully this isn't too loud. Ideally, have your heat gun heated up first, and it will work a bit quicker. So you'll see it change. I love embossing, heat embossing. Here we go, watch that change, then you know that you've got that gold colour coming through. Oops, we need the S as well. Probably shouldn't do it too close to the table. Hopefully it's not too loud for you. But definitely with gold, you can watch it change and you know which area has been heated enough or not. And we'll swap ends. Oops, need to do the other side of that one. Okay, so have a quick check, maybe the top there. There we go. All right. And then the construction of the card is similar to, well, but basically the same as what we did to the other one. I'll just put this back for now. So we need our 2 gold strips, but we've also got some evergreen strips as well. So I'm going to put, whoops, a bit too high with my glue, but I know I'm going to need to trim this. That's right, we trimmed this, we made it short, and I think these ones are a bit extra long to start with anyway. So sometimes, you know, something might happen that you don't want, but you just work with it and make it work. Those ones are my ribbon ones, so we don't want to touch those. So just careful as it's drying. So trim, trim. Okay, so can you see on this one, I've got an extra, I kind of want it to stand out a little bit more against the vanilla. So I've got a couple of strips of just plain evergreen card, and I'm going to add that on too. And that will make the kind of gold stick out a bit more. So I don't want too much showing, but just enough. Let's just slide it along a bit. So do you like embossing, heat embossing? What colour, or not colour, but what embossing powder do you like to use the most? Do you like white, or the metallics, or clear? Trim those. Okay, and then we are going to put it on like that. So even though it's a little bit shorter, that's okay. We can see a little bit more of the embossed background, which is quite nice. So let me get some dimensionals, hopefully not move my green bits around. So why not give this layout a go, whether it's Christmas stamps or something else. Maybe if it's something not too big, you could have, you know, the 3 images going across. Does it look about center? All right, there we go. Move this away now. So there we have it. So our first card was just the stamping with the distressed paper. So this one, I'll hold it a bit closer, just very plain, nothing on the cardstock. This one I've embossed. Don't know how well you can see that, but I kind of like that embossed look, but I can appreciate not everyone's got machines to emboss. Like I say, just stamp a pattern around the background, it just kind of adds to it. You could even just use that sort of pattern, it just gives it a bit of texture. I kind of thought of that after I did it, that's why I haven't tried. And then here is the second card, which is a bit more stepped up. So we've got some gold embossing on it, and then both of them have got this distressed gold paper, and then I've got just a bit more of the evening evergreen to help it kind of stand out. I probably do like the slightly bigger gap there, so I think this piece here maybe started off a little bit wider, so I could have tiered and maybe just need to check, but you know, trial and error. Saying that, there is a bit more room for the greeting, which I like over that. So, you know, lots of different things you can try. So thank you for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this card and learnt some tips along the way. Remember, if you really like the trees for sale, there is the the die set that go with it, that coordinate. You've got the trees, but then you've got bonus caravans and things which you can include, which are part of celebration. So we're coming towards the end of celebration. We've got just over a week or so left, I guess. So if there are any celebration products that you are wanting, then make sure you check them out and order soon. And remember, as well as the celebration brochure, some other catalogue products, current catalogue products, have been added to it as well. So you can get those for free just as it comes towards the end of celebration. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in contact with me. If you would like to order or you'd like catalogues, please let me know and I'll be happy to help you. So thanks for watching, and please like, share this video. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel as well. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.